As you might expect, The Rock is charismatic and entertaining. But what about the rest of the movie? Hi everyone, my name is Chris and welcome to Tread Talks, where I walk on this treadmill to stay in shape while making videos for you fine people. Baywatch is another 80s and 90s television series that is hoping to find success on the trail that was blazed by 21 Jump Street. And the question really is whether a charismatic cast and a self-referential script is enough to make this movie worth our time. The premise of the movie is pretty simple. You have Mitch Buchanan, played by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who leads the elite Baywatch lifeguard team. Zac Efron is a disgraced Olympic gold medal-winning swimmer who's forced onto the team as part of a community service agreement. And of course there's some criminal activity that the team will have to get to the bottom of, despite the fact that none of them are members of law enforcement. Now the characters themselves were pretty likable, and whatever chemistry they developed on set certainly does bleed into their performances on screen. The role of Mitch Buchanan as this larger-than-life lifeguard is a perfect fit for The Rock, and Zac Efron will always have a role in Hollywood as long as they need an initially cocky douchebag. And whenever the movie is showing us their interactions with one another, it's generally funny and believable. They both have a knack for comedy and timing. And there are also some decent moments between Kelly Rohrbach and John Bass. Kelly Rohrbach plays the new C.J. Parker, and John Bass plays a new character invented for the movie, and they have a Beauty and the Geek type of relationship that doesn't really make sense, but that's entertaining, and that ultimately is paid off with an explanation during the end credits. And on top of that, you have Priyanka Chopra taking some really poor dialogue and turning it into a mellifluously menacing performance. The lines are pretty bad, but it's a lot of fun to watch her deliver them. Unfortunately though, the humor and the story aren't as consistent as the charisma of the cast. There are some genuinely funny moments and interactions throughout the movie, and there are some references to the original that are clever enough to make us laugh. But just as often the jokes either fall flat or go on a little bit too long, and sometimes it relies on simple crudeness to try to make us laugh. And the pacing also seems off, especially in the back half of the movie where it starts to feel unnecessarily long and where you've probably figured out how things are going to play out and you're just waiting for the main characters to catch up to you. And on top of that, the premise itself is pretty ludicrous, and you have bad guys doing things that make no sense except for the fact that they need to do stupid things in order for the lifeguards to win. And there's another thing. I know I'm not supposed to take the movie too seriously, but at a very basic level, they give no good enough reason for why this team of lifeguards is trying to undo this deadly criminal enterprise while being so intentional about keeping the police as far away from it as possible. And then finally there's a tendency to draw just a little bit too much attention to the characters that are making cameos from the original series. It's done in a way that's obvious and predictable, and therefore less funny. And all of this gives me the sense that the success of these self-referential remakes isn't something that you can repeat forever. You have to be able to add some compelling, new, and interesting element that makes it stand on its own. For example, there's a glimpse of something deeper going on with Brody and his backstory, and it reframed how I viewed his character, and it made me intrigued to know more. But the movie doesn't really let that develop, and I would have much preferred that over another cameo by an aging celebrity. No offense to fans of the original show who'll probably get a kick out of those. And so ultimately Baywatch has some funny performances and lots of eye candy regardless of your persuasion, but it's not quite enough to overcome a bland and predictable story and humor that sometimes misses, which is why I give Baywatch 2.5 stars. Okay, so that was Baywatch. Now I get that humor is really subjective, so if you end up seeing it and you like it more than I did, leave it in the comments, it'll give me some perspective. And I also want to say a special thanks to my wife because she did the whole bedtime routine with the boys tonight so that I could go early to get into the early screening. Thank you very much, hon. Beyond that, if you like this video and you want to keep up with my content, please subscribe and hit the little bell icon to be notified when a new video goes up. Either way, thank you very much for watching and have a great day.